Let's see WhatsApp design today. Let me increase this font a little bit. Yeah, so for the WhatsApp, let's understand a little bit about the functional requirement, non-functional requirement, and the facts, and then we can see how this flow is happening. So in the functional requirement, we'll be able to send the message. That's the functional requirement, the push message. The push message, the user one send the message, and the user two is not available. But whenever user two comes online, then message will go to the user two. That's a push message. Chat message, we chat. Yeah, that's the same thing. The communication, acknowledgement like when in a WhatsApp, when we send the message, like when user one send the message, and when it's reached to the messaging server, then we'll see we consider that message is delivered, and that's why we see one tick mark that message delivered to the server. And then when the user 2 comes online, the messaging server that sends data back to the user 2, and then when it's back to the user 2, that we see the two tick mark. But when the user is online and when the user read the message, and the two tick mark turn to the blue. So that's the flow. And if you see there two arrow here, because in this uh, uh, here when we send user sent the message, uh, that should be not like normal API call, but we need a different concept called the WebSocket. So we need the WebSocket to handle this message. That's why I have used the WebSocket here. We need to handle image and image videos. So for that, there is another service, Media Handler. There is some facts here. Or before that, we see the non-functional requirement. The non-functional requirement is almost same in all the system design. So availability, of course, we need the availability. Server should not be down and scalable. There are a lot of data. So 2 billions of the users, and the per day, if you see the 100 billion messages per day we send. So when we get so many heavy load, that should be system should scalable. So horizontal scalable, we say. So that's a scalability, low latency. When user one send the message, user two should see the message immediately. So network latency should be very good. So that's why reliability data, when we user one sends data to the user two, the data should be saved in a database. That's why reliability there. Consistency, user and user two can see the data in a real time. 1 2 second delay, that's fine. Uh, but yeah, but here we can think on the consistency, either eventual consistency or a strong consistency. For the storage, you can see the 300 TB of data in a per month. So we need a big storage capacity for the system. So let's see how this box is connected to each other. So user wants send the message to the load balancer, and the website there are WebSocket. The question is why we need the load balancer, because the user wants send the message to WebSocket, and WebSocket is something, it is persistent connection to the user two. So user one and user two. If user send message, you go to the user two. So like this, there are multiple users, but when this user send the message, the connection will established. If the user is not online, and when the user two comes back, again the message goes to the user two through the WebSocket. So so that's fine for the two users. But if there are multiple users, like or we can see the 100 billion of messages per day, and when that heavy load comes in a per day, one WebSocket cannot handle. So that's why we need the multiple WebSocket, and when we have the multiple WebSocket, we need the load balancer. So that is the new concept here in WebSocket in a this chat kind of communications. So in order to manage this WebSocket, there is a WebSocket manager. So that and then that will be managed here. And then when the data comes, the data goes to the multiple message server through the help of load balancer, or it can goes to, if the media data is there, then media goes to the media handler process, and from here data will be saved to the Cassandra. And for the media data, the media data goes to the S3 bucket. You can save to the AWS S3 bucket or anywhere in the cloud. So that's the one thing. And if you see, the images, in the case, the images are multimedia's data. If it is in only one region, let's say in the USA, so users in the USA can access the data very fast, but users in the India cannot access the data in a in that way. So there will be a little bit delay. So for that, we to address that problem, we are adding here the CDN. So CDN, when the data comes here, data we upload that data to the CDNs, and the CDN will be in the different region, maybe the India and also in a USA. So the users in the India get that data from the CDN, and user two in a USA that also get the data from the CDN that's in local to the USA region. So that's about this data flow for WhatsApp. If you talk about the database, so in a database you can store this kind of data, the message. Maybe you can have the user ID, the message, date. So those schema we can design, and we can deep dive into that whenever it's required. So that's about one of the data. Then we see the image data. So for the image data, we can store some image. We can say that image link. We can store the image link, but actual the data will be somewhere in S3 bucket and the CDN, and from there, that data can be downloaded. So this is all about this WhatsApp design. Yeah. So yeah, the other thing is, yeah, we can, we can further, we can go and like design the schema of the database, and we can deep dive into that. But for now, this is all for WhatsApp design. Thank you. That's all for now.